First, on Nick and Nigel, always a tough day for an organization, especially with how great those guys were for us. I want to make sure everybody knows how much we appreciated them. They were great teammates, unbelievable work ethic, and when you have the level of success that we've had up until the trade deadline, there are no small roles in that, and they brought it every single day, and they played an important role in helping us do a lot of good things. And as I said, it was a tough day. We wish them the very best. They're both in very good situations to continue their career. So I thought right off the bat, most important thing is from an organizational standpoint, how much we appreciated those two guys and what they brought every single day to the Suns. Second thing I want to hit on real quick is, last spring in the preseason, right before the first game, we talked about building a new identity and creating a culture based on toughness and grit and unselfishness. We made the decision, and we talked about it openly, that our success wasn't going to solely be defined by wins and losses, but more importantly by building the daily habits and the behaviors that were going to drive those characteristics that hopefully defined our team. I think we're in a good place. I think we've made progress in all of those areas. I think our fans, the great community of Phoenix, and maybe even you guys can feel it a little bit. We've made the changes. We're moving in the right direction. I like the spot that we're in. The one thing is, with this league, it is fragile. And I mentioned it before, things turn quickly in this league. So what we need to do is not be satisfied, to keep driving, keep pushing how we're going to play, what our team looks like, from on the court to their engagement with the fans to their work in the community. All those things are critical, that we not only continue, but now we push it even further and try to grow in those areas. Because our key is not just to build it, but to build it to the point where it can be sustained. And we're getting there. We're not there yet. And so it's really important that we don't lose sight of our pursuit of where we want to get to, because that's never ending. And I think that's been a key component to where we're at this particular stage of the season. The last thing I want to hit on before I open it up for questions is just, Coach Ott has done a tremendous job. He has created an environment where our guys are allowed and given permission to become the very best version of themselves, not only as players but as men as well, and that's critical. That's something that's very important to us. He coaches hard every day. He holds guys accountable, but he has built tremendous relationships with all our players, which I think you see on the court. I think you see with the camaraderie amongst the team, and all those things have been very critical for us getting to this point. And the other thing with that is sometimes you lose sight of all the other people that are working as well. His assistants have done a great job. Their relationship, their ability to push players, their ability to encourage players, their ability to have communication pieces with players that help them get through tough patches and different things like that has been very, very important. So they've done a great job. And to be honest with you, we've made changes within the whole organization, within this 5G and over in HQ as well, that we are creating now an environment where when a player comes in, from the coaching to the player development to the human performance to the medical piece, to, again, the community involvement, the family environment, we are creating environments here where players come in and they know they're going to have career years during their time here in Phoenix. And that is very, very important, not only for our current players, but as we move forward into the future as well. And there's a piece that comes from the coaching, there's a piece that comes from our operations staff, from our medical staff. All those things are critical in building what we want to build and sustaining that as well. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
BG, I know it's probably tough at the beginning when you guys all got here to flip this thing upside down and truly start over, but what's it like to see it pay off and to get probably the feedback that you've seen nightly in the games and probably from fans and the players themselves?
Yeah, you know, I think payoff is too strong of a word because we're still in the process, but it's a good feeling. More so just, you know, obviously I'm at every practice, at every workout, at the games, to see our competitive level and the joy that our players play the game with that's rewarding, because I know that those are the framework for what can build successful teams and teams that challenge for championships and teams that continue to improve. That daily grind is fun to be a part of. Not always easy. And like I said, in this league, there are going to be some nights that are deemed a failure in terms of wins and losses, but keeping our eye on where we want to get to and how we want to get to has been very rewarding.
How's it been for you, Brian, so far, just in your role?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. But again, as I talked about, there was a lot of things in this that I didn't know, and I was fine with that. And maybe that's a positive. When you're surrounded by quality people like we have within the organization, experts in their field, that helps quite a bit. I focused on the players, on the basketball piece, on the relationship with Jordan and the coaching staff. Now you start moving into other areas. You know, obviously it was the trade, and then it will be the draft and the free agency and stuff like that. But sometimes you got to remind yourself, this is still basketball. You know what I mean? And sometimes to be successful in basketball, the least important thing is the basketball. It's the other things. And I think we've emphasized that, and that's helped.
How does the success, and at least initially here, impact your timeline plan going forward, whether or not you speed it up a little bit or not?
Well, I think, again, the most important thing is control what you can control. You know, in this league, there's a lot of things out of your control. So let's control the type of players that we have in here, in our organization. Let's control their development. And if, you know, pieces come in that we see that we need, be ready to take advantage of those opportunities. I don't think it speeds anything up. I think what it does is make the ride a little more enjoyable, you know. And when you're doing it with good people, and when I say good people, that's just not the people in the offices here. That's the players on the court. That's the people in the weight room and stuff like that. So you look at it and you say, where do we want to get to? What do we need to do today to get there? And that's what we attack.
Has it been easy or hard to get everybody rowing in the same direction?
When you got quality people, it's not that hard. You know what I mean? One thing that Jordan's done a great job of, one thing that I think myself and Josh Bartelstein and Matt Telemann and obviously our owner Matt Ishbia, there was a clear definition of what we wanted it to look like. And our players have been unbelievable at buying in. Now we go back to the press conference when we introduced Jordan. They've bought in because of the substance that he brings on a daily basis. They've bought in because of the substance that Matt Ishbia brings on a daily basis. I don't know if you saw the celebrity game, but he played like a Phoenix Suns. You know what I mean? He played with the DNA that we want our players to play with. Now, only made one shot, 2 for 4 from the free throw line, so I was able to get on him a little bit on that one. But when it's tangible, it's a lot easier.
You talk about good people. You know, you guys have mentioned Devin Booker since the first day you got here. What was it like to see him represent the Suns in the All-Star weekend, in the three-point shootout in the game, getting love for Barack Obama in the middle of the game? I mean, that's saying something.
That was kind of neat. Yeah, he had a great weekend. You know what I mean? I know his competitive level, and he wasn't maybe happy about not winning the three-point contest, which is what makes him special. but what a great showing. And then he played extremely well in the games as well. When you watch him play with all those other all-stars, you can see what makes him special, because there's just an understanding of the game that is uncomparable within this league. And so for him representing our organization, the way he went about and did it and played the right way, competed hard, was right on line with who Devin Booker is.
And when it comes to the team, and you see the rest of the players, see a guy like Devin Booker buy into what you guys are doing, that's got to help everybody else fall in line.
Always does. When your premier player quickly jumps on board, again, there's a kinship between him and Jordan because of their great understanding of the game and so forth, that makes it easier for everybody else to say, the tone has been set, and if he's the example, we better follow. And we've had other guys step up in the leadership role, because in this league it can't just be one guy, and so guys like Dillon Brooks has done a great job of that. Royce O'Neal's done a great job of that. Grayson Allen's done a great job of that. And you got to get it from different people at different times. And I think one of the things that this team has is the courage to step up and say stuff when things need to be said, either to each other, to the coaching staff, from the coaching staff to the players, because when everybody's on the same page and everybody wants to move forward in the right direction, then you can have open communication and honest communication. I think that's critical.
Will you tell us a behind-the-scenes story about Jordan? It's one thing to feel good when you walk out of the interview with him, but I mean post-China, where you knew, I'm validated. This is the guy, whether it's film, whether it's practice, whether it's something he said to a player.
I'll go back to my coaching days. I've always taken great pride, and it was kind of a motto of whatever staff I was on, either as an assistant or a head coach: first in, last to leave. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore, because every time I come in the morning, Jordan's car's out there already. You know what I mean? Just a tremendous work ethic. And I knew the basketball knowledge, I knew the ability to build relationships, and when you combine that with a relentless work ethic, I knew that good things were going to come.
Brian, you guys have been really patient with Jaylen Green. Where's he at right now, in your opinion, and coming back?
Yeah, he's in a good spot right now. Injuries, unfortunately, are part of this league, and he's done an unbelievable job. His spirit on a daily basis in terms of attacking the rehab, attacking the recovery, attacking the workouts has been spot on from day one. There are tough days. Anybody who's an athlete or anybody who's coach knows there's tough days when you're going through that, days that you want to get out there and play and you're just not ready yet. He's always bounced back, and he's had the support of not only our human performance group but all his teammates as well. The one thing that is a testament to that is just watch him when he wasn't playing, when he was on the bench. Engaged, sitting right next to the coaches, always there for his teammates. A lot of guys don't do that. So with that being said, obviously when you have the league has shown now that with soft tissue injuries, the progress is never in a straight line, but he's in a good place right now. Obviously playing those couple games before the break and then getting time off with the rehab and recovery and more workouts, building their conditioning. So he's in a good place heading into these last 27 games.
I ask that because fans have been a little impatient, right? Wanted to see.
Yeah. I mean, totally understandable, but he's 23 years old, and he's got a bright future in front of us, and you want to make sure that things are in the right place for not only game 1, but also game 20, and then for his entire career. So his work ethic has matched anything that we needed, and now I think he's good to go.
With the limited sample size, how much of a feel do you have for how he and Devin Booker could look together, playing together long term?
I think pretty good. His explosiveness, his ability to get to the basket, his feel for the game, I think those two guys together are going to form one of the best backcourts, if not the best, in the NBA as we move forward. Especially down the road as they get to play more and get a better feel for each other. But he brings a lot of stuff that at times that we're lacking, so I think his fit is going to be really, really good.
Brandon, do you see Nick Richards' departure as something that could open up more NBA minutes for Khaman Malauch?
Well, obviously, with one less big in the rotation, there's that possibility. And I know everyone's excited to watch Khaman and Rasheer play. Such bright futures for both those guys. And their development has been, we're very pleased with it so far this year. Obviously, the opportunity and them always bothering us about trying to go play in the Valley games when there's the free time to do it. They want to play. They're on the court every day with us, working on their game and practices and so forth. And I think you've seen even progress in when they've gotten minutes in games. So I know if the opportunity comes that Khaman will be ready for those minutes.
Brian, it seems like everyone from management to coaching staff and the way J.O. kind of coaches is process-oriented. Just what can you say about the importance of that versus just focusing on the wins and losses?
Yeah, we always talk about the pursuit of winning, and that's really the process of putting things in place, the development piece of the players, the development piece of the coaches. All those things come into play, and when you know the steps that you want to take and you're able to check those steps off, then you're putting yourself in a position to win more games and be more successful solely on the scoreboard. So keeping our eye on the important things, how we want to play, how we want to compete, how we want to prepare for games, and then going out there and playing your tail off for 48 minutes is really the best way to continue to move forward for us.
I was going to do 3 more.
I'm looking at Colin. It felt like him coming from last season's rosters and this season's was an example of what you all want to see from the pieces you brought in after that. How important has his success and kind of development this season been to kind of validating that?
Yeah, it's a good one, because what it shows is, one, the accountability on the players to have a great work ethic and a great attitude and want to be coached. But the piece that overrides that is the environment that we're placing him in on a daily basis, where there is teaching going on, where you are driving guys to maybe even go beyond what they think they're capable of doing. He never batted an eye in those situations, and because of that, his game just continued to steadily improve and increase in terms of the impact that he can make in a game. So now you point towards him and say, player A, B, or C, look, this is what needs to be done. This is the foundational pieces that you need to bring. This is the pathway and runway we're going to create for you. And if you do these things, this is the opportunity you're going to get. And when you have that success, one of our biggest challenges when we flipped it and made these changes was there was a lot of talk but no tangible evidence. Mm-hmm. Everything we've talked about today starts creating some tangible evidence. Case in point, Colin Gillespie. So now you have some tangible. We have always believed it, but there was a belief without maybe the evidence to back it. Now we have some evidence to back it.
When it comes to Dillon's just impact on the team, how would you describe what the villain mentality's brought to the team, both in a positive way and then you have to kind of put your arm around him sometimes when the technical fouls start to
he was never a guy that you needed to heat up. He brought it every single day, and that was really very critical for us as an organization, that every day we stepped on the court, be it as individual skill work, be it a 2-on-2 group work, be it 5-on-5 practice or a game, that we were going to attack that day. We were going to attack that workout. There was going to be an attitude of, I'm giving everything I got, and I'm going to get better during this time. And then at the end of that workout, we're going to evaluate, come back the next day, and then go. He brought that. We've have other guys that have that, but he was kind of the spark that ignited it a little bit, and it just became who we are. You know what I mean? So he's brought a lot of that. And then obviously how hard he plays and the intensity that he plays with and the emotion and passion that he plays with. I always say everything's contagious, good or bad. Luckily, there's a lot more good. And then we just need to keep moving forward in terms of he knows his technical situation. We've had plenty of sit-downs and talks. He also knows how important he is for us to be on the court. So I think with that, I think he understands exactly where he's at.
Brian, with the intensity this team has played at for the first 2/3 of the season, 48 minutes, are you concerned about them being able to maintain that intensity down the stretch here?
It's always a challenge, but I think one of the things now is as Jaylen comes back and we start building our depth back up, I think one of the greatest testimonies to what we're trying to get done and to coach and the overall environment is, I said before, the NBA is fragile. Injuries are part of the game. Next man up. It didn't matter who played, where we were playing, we went out there and we played the way the Phoenix Suns are supposed to play. And when you do that, you give yourself a great chance to be successful. With that being said, as we get healthier and we have more bodies, our depth is going to become critical. And hopefully, it's amazing what 2 or 3 less minutes in a game will do to you over a 2 or 3 week span. Those just keep adding up. And so I think our depth is going to be critical for us as we move forward in these last 27 games.
All right, thanks, guys. Anyone not get a question in? Anyone? Great. Okay.
Oh, good.